Oh, that was kind of weird. I don't know why it stopped like that. However, good evening, everyone. I am, as you know, Marwan Cameron. This is The Conduit. We have a special show for you this evening that we need to talk about. I'm a little dismayed that my new video just stopped right in the middle. It didn't even finish. I'm disappointed in that. However, I'll take a look at it and get going. First off, though, I want to make sure that I'm coming in loud and clear. Let me check my volume. Oh, it didn't finish. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. So I just sent the link out, and I'll wait just a couple minutes for people to get the link, grab something to drink, settle in, because we're going to have a conversation here for about the next 20 minutes or so. Because this cannot go any further. So we're going to go ahead and jump on into it. Let's say, we'll wait until 2 minutes. We'll let folks come in 2 minutes and come on in. Go ahead and check out the link. I did not get a chance to do the show on meritorious manumissions yesterday. I do promise I will get to that soon and talk about what meritorious manumissions are in relation to how slave owners provide meritorious manumissions to slaves, right? And there were typically 3 conditions under which that would happen, right? If you save the life of a slave owner or one of their family members, if you invented something, things along that line, right? So we're going to look at that, and then we're going to compare and contrast that to contemporary, to today. And we're going to talk about who is receiving meritorious manumissions in today's climate and how that holds us back as a people. All right, so about 60 seconds, we're going to go on in here. I don't know what happened to my glasses. They were around here somewhere, but that's okay. Forgive me. My camera is off to the side and not in front of me. I thought I might be recording, so I packed that camera up. So I don't have my center look on camera. So it's just kind of that side angle there. All right. So, man, I got to tell you, today did my heart good. Seeing the Kitsap Black Student Union youth go through their award ceremony and seeing all of the leaders show up and the supporters, that is awesome to see. Shout out to all the people that have stood on the side, in front of, behind those students and help them to achieve their goals. And it's fascinating to see what they look like and what they're doing in their 30s, their 40s, and their 50s as they start hitting those mile markers. All right, so as people are coming in here, let me go ahead and get into this, okay? So tonight, of course, was the Kitsap Black Student Union event for the graduating youth. Fantastic event, really good. However, at the end of that event, there was an incident between me and Daryl Riley. Now, many of us in the community it's no secret that Daryl Riley and I don't get along, right? There was a time that we did, but we do not now, right? And that, unfortunately, is on him. That is not on me. But that is neither here nor there. We're here to talk about tonight's incidents. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lay it out for you, for those of you that maybe heard a little bit about it, because we don't want this drama or rumor or innuendo or hearsay out there. We're going to get it straight, okay? So first, I would like to apologize for any youth who bore witness to any of tonight's events, but more importantly, the gossip that is sure to follow, because it is, okay? Parents are going to talk about it in front of their children. Folks are going to talk about it in different events. So our youth, they're going to hear about it, right? And one of the things that we're trying to do is break these cycles. And I'm going to talk about that later. But one of the big issues that we have in Kitsap County is we're a very small community. We're a very small percentage of the community, but we seem to be more fractured than other Black communities where we just do not get along with each other. It's very much Hatfields and McCoys. And so we are siloed off in different groups and cliques where we can work together, Some people have the ability to go over into different cliques and work with this one and that one. But by and large, we are very defunct, okay? More so than in other places. And this is coming from people that work with the Black community in Pierce County, that work with the Black community in King County, and they're saying, hey, there's nothing like what's going on here in Kitsap County. Maybe that's due to the passing of the great Bishop Robinson, or there's other factors that are in there, but they're there nonetheless. So anyway, first I'd like to apologize to the youth. Now, I do not apologize to any adult who knows about Daryl's long documented history of bullying, verbal abuse, and destruction of our community. I'll say that again. I do not apologize to any adult who knows about Daryl's long documented history of bullying, verbal abuse, and destruction of our community. Just today, leaders had to advocate for our children because of the ongoing bullying in our school systems. So Akuye, Deborah Jackson, they're out fighting and advocating for what's going on with our kids just today. Not to mention our Hispanic community that's advocating for the bullying that's going on in their community, in their schools. Okay? It is hypocritical, to say the least, that people are so staunch in their advocacy for our youth, but at the same time, that behavior is able to be repeated and take place, in particularly this adult. So why are we having this conversation? This is what happened. Daryl Riley was walking up to the jug of juice in the front of the room from the left. I was walking up to the jug of juice from the right, making eye contact until we both reached the jug. I grabbed my cup and I began to fill it up. Daryl says, "Looks like you got something you want to say." I retort, "No. I've said what I need to. If I have something to say, you know I'll say it." Daryl then says, "You're lucky, because all I would do is be making you a martyr." "A martyr? So you're saying you're going to kill me?" I said. "No, it won't be me," Daryl threatens. So at this point, I say to Daryl, I'm like, "Daryl, look at you. Look at you, Daryl." He ignored me, continuing to stare me down, as we know Daryl does. "Look at what you're doing." Now, I'm pointing at the ground. He's like, "I don't care." He looks down. He got his juice, but he didn't close the spigot. So green juice is pouring all over the library floor. I don't care about that shit. At this point, he put his hand on my chest. "If we weren't here, I'd slap you in your face," he exclaimed. I pushed my hand off his chest, and he started saying, "Back up, get off me." Now, at this point, we've got Shaylin and other folks that are coming in and trying to break it up. You know, Darius, shout out to all of them coming in to break this up. Now, this is very unfortunate that this is taking place at a youth event as they are graduating, being celebrated by the Black leaders and other leaders in the community. But when someone shows you who they are, believe them. That has been said to me 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Daryl has been bullying people in this community for years, and he's only gotten worse. The difference is, and I don't know what it is, but I'm not that person. I will catch a beat down every day and twice on Sunday, but you're not going to bully me. At the block party, he needed to be reined in by others because he was out of control. On Juneteenth, he also needed to be brought to heel because he didn't control his emotions. Up From Slavery Initiative is an organization doing good work in the community. That said, the head of the organization is a cancerous danger that undermines what it is set out to do. Daryl has strategically recruited powerful, respected leaders in the community. This has only emboldened his reprehensible behavior, allowing Daryl to hide behind the work. Daryl has made a direct threat of murder, if not for martyrdom. So basically what he's saying is, if I didn't have the standing in the community that I did, then he would kill me. This was not hyperbole. This was not hyperbole. As disgusting as it is for him, at a celebration for the future of the Black community, this is just another in a long line of unacceptable behavior. Whether Mayor Wheeler, Black women leaders in the community, and now myself, Daryl continues to show how unhinged he is. People have made excuses for Daryl's for years. It's just Daryl being Daryl. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. It's just Daryl being Daryl. This is the very reason he is so out of control and deceitfully hides it under "I'm passionate" or "I'm keeping it real." This is the behavior that he decided to put on display. Now, I'm glad it happened at the end of the event, where only few saw what took place. Now, those are the facts of what happened this evening. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you my opinion. Daryl Riley is a grifter. He hides behind a noble organization and its cause, helping people get the bag, as he calls it. It is a part of his modus operandi to elicit loyalty and accept his behavior. Let's look at the last 2 years of the Up From Slavery Initiative. Hosted 2 race equity summits. Clearly, Daryl did not learn anything from his own events. Tragic as this is, he has not gotten better and restored relationships, he's gotten worse. This year for Juneteenth, he's promoting a Tacoma event because of his tantrum with the Kuye Vargas. The paraphrase quote is, "I'm not effing working with her." What's worse, everyone is watching his shenanigans. The nation and the community find itself tremendously in violent times. We're watching people get killed for stealing a bottle of water. Ranting on a subway can get you killed. Being killed on live social media. Folks are losing it on planes, on and on, on and on, on and on. The stories persist. People are unraveled. Be clear on Daryl's words. "I would be dead if it did not martyr me." Not only that, he would elicit others to participate in that violence. So what Daryl is saying is, if I wasn't a community leader in my own right, he'd have me killed. Now, I want you to consider the gravity of that statement. That's ominous, right? The bell tolls. Daryl yelling, "Mama! Mama!" over and over again at the vigil at the Marvin Williams Center rings hollow as a grift, as he wants to murder a Black man just as Derek Chauvin did. Is that ironic? This is who leads Up From Slavery Initiative. This is your leader, an unhinged, homicidal narcissist that shields his behavior behind the initiative. Daryl needs to do 3 things immediately. 1, step down from Up From Slavery Initiative. I believe he said, it's not about him, so it shouldn't be an issue. Number 2, he needs to seek mental health counseling immediately before he loses control, snaps, and either initiates proxy violence, conscripting other men, and literally taking assault or murder into his own hands. Number 3, once he's made progress, makes his rounds and apologizes to those he's abused, take accountability for setting the Black community and Black men back with this deplorable behavior. Consider what Up From Slavery Initiative means. Now that you have the reason why the Black community, especially in places like Chicago, Baltimore, East St. Louis, New Orleans, experience crime, murder, and other debauchery, is that people are scared into silence. Instead of, the community holds the don't snitch. Oftentimes, even when it's someone they love who's been harmed. Grandparents, parents, kids, they live in fear from the very family members that were in their homes months and even years before. For years, this behavior has gone unchecked and unchanged. Daryl wouldn't dare tell the mayor he would kill him if it wouldn't martyrdom him. No more secrets. No more protecting bullies in our community, regardless of the work they do. No more looking the other way, making excuses and saying it's just Daryl being Daryl. As Carlton from The Fresh Prince said, you're the real sellout. I need not use pejoratives like coon, sellout, or Uncle Tom. The most harmful people in the Black community pretend like they're helping in their left hand while getting the bag and terrorizing the community with the other. Now I want you to be absolutely clear. I am fully aware that this is likely to hurt my campaign. My opponent and other voters don't want to see drama like this. But I am running to be an advocate and to make change. I cannot sweep this under the rug and try to justify the good of an organization like Up From Slavery Initiative over the individual Daryl Riley. Enough is enough. If that causes you to withdraw your endorsement or not vote for me, then that is much preferred by me. I am seeking to change things, but it is hard to change with individuals who are compromised. Please vote for Jane, and thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now, let's be clear. I have no issues with anyone that I know of. No one has threatened me like Daryl has. So, should I experience any bodily harm, damage to my personal property or property to my organizations, the motive is clear. We have a threat of proxy violence and violence from Daryl himself. As long as we allow people like Daryl Riley to behave unchecked and worse, lead, we will not be up from slavery, but forever shackled mentally. Now, another thing that I need to be crystal clear about. I do believe that Daryl should step down from Up From Slavery Initiative, but he should not go to jail. He should not lose his businesses or his clients. Daryl can recover from this if he's willing to do the work. Black men make mistakes and they are destroyed. I am not here to destroy Daryl Riley. But this cannot persist. So he should keep all his contracts. All of his businesses should go on just like they go. He should continue to thrive. Daryl, people are watching you. Will you become more unhinged and further your violent acts? Will you allow yourself to hide behind those loyal to you, compromising their value system in the process? Or will you do the work I suggested, step down, seek treatment, and make amends for the continuous harm that you've done? We're waiting. Now that I've got that out the way, this situation has been serendipitous timing. It really does. There's been so much consternation in the Black community, especially here in Kitsap. Now, some people could say it's Stockholm Syndrome. The reason why people suffer in their families is because of the secrets, family secrets, spousal abuse. These are the things that are tantamount to what you see in the Black community. The husband is beating on the wife, and she protects him over and over and over again. The finances are in ruin, but it's held a secret when the family needed help and could have gotten help. Now it's too far gone. Black people have all the signs of a battered spouse. And we say things like, don't talk about it in front of white people. Don't talk about it in front of massa. Yes, they actually use the word massa. And what I can't understand about that is why they are giving such power to white people. Because on the one hand, it's like, F them white people. And then on the other hand is, man, don't talk about our business in front of white people. Which one is it? Because if you're given that much power to, or if you're not given that much power to them, why the hell would you care what you say in front of a white person and what the hell they think about what you got going on? Make that make sense. It's not logical. There was a time where the Black community was considered the paragon of society, leading the way in social justice. The Black church was the cornerstone of the community. Now, unfortunately, the community is held hostage by the sickest among us. As I said, like battered wives, we make excuses for our abuser, but he takes good care of the family or the community. He provides for the family or he gets the bag for the community. He isn't that bad, just sometimes he gets angry, and it's probably our fault. We shouldn't have given him a reason. Families learn of evictions on the actual day the cops are there to move them out because of the secrets. Years of trauma, years of making marginal progress at best. Ask yourself, Kitsap, are things really getting better in our community? Are they? Are they? I was at Christina's birthday party on Saturday, and 3 elders said that it is worse now than it was in the 60s. That's a hell of a statement. Even when we get to the point to instances of progress, is that progress minimal? Shouldn't we be farther than we are? Shouldn't we? So the reason why I said it was serendipitous, I've been having some conversation with some folks, not only here in this county, but outside the county. And they really want to solve these problems. Earlier at the end of the year, I worked on a social contract and I put some of those things up. It's actually really long, it's 3 parts, and I didn't even get through the entire social contract. Now I'm going to talk about 10 things that are in the social contract. Conflict resolution, number 1. Abiding by decisions, number 2. Number 3, learning to be a team. Number 4, accepting consequences. Number 5, accepting responsibility. Number 6, being accountable. Number 7, not bailing because you didn't get your way. We see that a lot here. Number 8, calling out the transgressors clearly, not hiding them away and justifying their contributions to the group. Number 9, reconciliation. And number 10, love through conflict. If you are interested in doing the hard work, not the heart work, this isn't hard work. This is hard. Reach out and attend our first meeting. The Black community tried this through the Black Collective last year, and from my vantage point, many more were interested in getting their grievances off their chest. Granted, things do need to be addressed. I absolutely acknowledge that. But often, if I can give you a metaphor, you need to be sedated and numb before the area you work on is worked on. Before you pull that thorn out of the lion's paw, you're going to have to put some Novocaine around it before we can address it. That did not get a chance to happen in earnest. And this is where the social contract comes in. If we don't know the rules, if we don't agree to the rules, if we don't have input on the rules, and if we do not agree to abide on the outcomes, we cannot make progress. Because as soon as it gets too hard, or as soon as there's a consequence, as soon as you are in the minority, as soon as something happens that you don't like, then you're going to take your ball and go. So you have to be willing to abide by the outcomes. We cannot make progress otherwise. The Black community will remain a dysfunctional, siloed organism that does some miraculous things in spite of itself. You see it now, as I said before, there's 3 orgs or 3 individuals, they're working together, and one of those individuals can go and work over here in this other group. The end result often is passing around the same dollars. G2 sponsors this event. That organization sponsors this event. That organization sponsors another event. And the circle goes round and round and round. But seldom are we pooling all of our resources the way that KCR is doing and having the ability to buy a $5 million housing project, to create our own schools so that we can teach our children, so we don't have to worry about the systemic racism. We don't have to worry about not being taught the history. We don't have to worry about not being taught financial literacy. We don't have to worry about not being taught communication, conflict resolution. We have an opportunity. We're on a precipice. We have a debt ceiling that is getting ready to hopefully be averted. But as you know, the Republicans have put in a poison pill where they're going to make those that are on food assistance getting SNAP benefits work for those benefits. Evictions are up. We're in a proxy war with Ukraine. We're broke as a nation. Student loan payments are coming back. AI is causing jobs to disappear overnight. We own no property. We're not together. We're not a collective. We're barely collaborative. And we're marginal at best in the outcomes that we achieve. When we could be doing so much more, when we need to be so much more. We have a transition into electronic vehicles, when internal combustion engines are going to be phased out. Can you afford one? Can you afford the increase in electrical prices? If the temperature rises another 1.5 degrees, we will have passed a threshold where we're going to see climate change like we've never seen it before. It was 90 degrees in May. We do not have time. But in Baltimore, in Chicago, and in all these places where their babies at 4 and 5, 9 and 10, turn 11, 12, 13, 15, lost, turn into gangs, and begin killing each other, terrorizing their own families. No, it's not that severe here. We're talking about one person this evening. But we're all guilty of this on some level, but not to the level of calling for straight up murder. Several months ago, I called myself the Nat Turner of Kitsap County, half joking. But what I mean by that is Nat Turner was going to, well, he killed the slave and slave owners. I'm not killing anyone. But what I am doing is calling it out. We can no longer hide, be quiet, pretend like we don't want to air out our dirty laundry because, oh my goodness, those white folks might see. Others in the BIPOC community might see our dysfunction. When the entire time that we do that, evil continues to manifest and persist. So as long as I draw breath, I'm going to call it out. And understand it's a small town. And people are horrible with keeping secrets. But that is the only way that we are going to see change. What goes on in the dark will come out in the light. And we must shine light into every corner of this defunct community that we live in. And as Drayton Jackson said this evening, I thought he had a powerful message of resilience to the youth. In spite of us, they have succeeded. I am Marwan Kayin Akil Cameron. This is The Conduit. All right, y'all. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. I'll see y'all tomorrow.